The holographic transmission flickered, casting an ethereal blue light across the command center's steel-gray walls. Captain Jack Harrison's cybernetic eye processed data streams faster than any human could comprehend, breaking down the alien message into its most minute components. Commander Lisa Rodriguez, standing to his left, broke the silence. "They're giving us exactly 72 standard galactic hours to surrender," she said, her voice a mixture of disbelief and rising anger. The Stellar Dominion's ultimatum wasn't just a demand. It was a calculated insult, a proclamation of humanity's supposed insignificance in the vast cosmic hierarchy. The alien message continued to play, revealing the Dominion's clinical assessment of human capabilities. Holographic charts materialized, showing humanity's technological progress as a laughably small line compared to the sweeping curves representing the alien Confederation's millennia of advancement. Star systems were displayed like chess pieces, with human-controlled space reduced to a mere cluster of dim points. Jack's cybernetic eye zoomed in, analyzing every microscopic detail. The transmission wasn't just a threat. It was a psychological weapon designed to crush human spirit before the first shot was fired. "They'd studied us," Jack muttered, more to himself than to anyone else in the room. "Every conflict, every technological breakthrough, every moment of human history. They've analyzed it all." The room was a blend of cutting-edge technology and raw human emotion. Holographic displays danced with complex data streams, while the faces of military personnel reflected a range of responses: fear, anger, determination, defiance. A young communications specialist, Derek Chen, spoke up. His hands moved across holographic interfaces with practiced speed. "Sir, I'm detecting multiple communication layers in the transmission. It's not just a simple message. It's a complex psychological profile." Jack turned, his interest piqued. "Explain." Derek's fingers danced across the interface, pulling apart the transmission's intricate structure. "The Dominion hasn't just sent a surrender demand. They've embedded deep psychological analysis. Look here," he pointed to a series of fractal-like patterns. "These are computational representations of human behavioral models." Commander Rodriguez leaned in, her military training evident in every precise movement. "They think they can predict our entire species' response." "Worse," Jack said, a dangerous edge creeping into his voice. "They believe they can manipulate us." The transmission continued its clinical breakdown of human potential. Star systems blinked and shifted, showing potential invasion routes. The Stellar Dominion's strategy was laid bare, a mathematically perfect conquest, with humanity reduced to a statistical probability of resistance. But something was wrong with their calculations. Jack's cybernetic eye detected microscopic inconsistencies, subtle flaws in the transmission's perfect facade. The Dominion believed their analysis was impeccable, but they had overlooked a fundamental truth about humanity: unpredictability. "They've studied our wars," Jack said, more to himself than to anyone else. "Our conflicts, our technological progress. But they don't understand what drives us." Derek's analysis continued. "Sir, the psychological profile they've constructed is fascinating. They've categorized human responses into precise mathematical models. Look at how they've mapped potential resistance scenarios." Holographic displays showed complex decision trees, each branch representing a potential human response: surrender, resistance, negotiation. Each path was calculated with cold, mathematical precision. What the Dominion didn't understand was the nature of human spirit. Commander Rodriguez watched the transmission, her family's history of military service etched into every line of her face. Her grandfather had fought in the lunar conflicts. Her mother had developed quantum communication technologies. Resistance wasn't just a strategy for her. It was a genetic inheritance. "They think we'll break," she said quietly, "but they have no idea what humanity is capable of." Jack's cybernetic eye completed its analysis. The transmission was more than a threat. It was a challenge, and humanity had never backed down from a challenge. The command center buzzed with a sudden electric energy. Communication channels opened across global networks. Military installations that had been in standby mode began to activate. Research facilities hidden deep underground stirred to life. The Stellar Dominion believed they were delivering an ultimatum. Humanity was preparing an answer. "Prepare communication response," Jack commanded, his voice cutting through the tension. But not a surrender, not a negotiation. Commander Rodriguez looked at him, a dangerous smile forming. "What are your orders, Captain?" Jack's cybernetic eye gleamed with a light that was part technological, part pure human determination. "We're going to show them exactly who they're dealing with." The underground research facility beneath the Rocky Mountains hummed with an intensity that defied its subterranean location. Dr. Michael Reynolds stood before a massive holographic display, his fingers tracing complex quantum equations that seemed to dance and reshape themselves with each touch. "We've been preparing for this moment longer than anyone realizes," he muttered to himself, reviewing decades of classified research. Outside the facility, the world transformed. Global communication networks became a unified war machine. Silicon Valley tech companies that had once competed now worked in perfect synchronization. Manufacturing lines switched from consumer electronics to military-grade components with surgical precision. A secure communication line crackled to life. General Sarah Martinez's face appeared on the holographic display, her expression a mixture of determination and barely contained excitement. "Reynolds," she began, "walk me through the quantum drive prototype." Michael's hands moved across the interface, bringing up a complex three-dimensional schematic. What appeared to be a simple cylindrical component was actually a marvel of engineering that would have been considered impossible just a decade ago. "Traditional faster-than-light travel relies on predictable physics," Michael explained. "We've been developing something entirely different. This drive doesn't just move through space, it negotiates with space itself." A holographic model expanded, revealing intricate layers of quantum mechanics that seemed to defy traditional understanding. Probability waves danced around a core mechanism that looked more like a living organism than a piece of technology. In orbital research stations, similar preparations were underway. Dr. Emily Rodriguez, no relation to the military Rodriguez family, led a team developing adaptive shield technologies. Their approach was radically different from conventional defensive systems. "We're not building a wall," Emily told her team. "We're creating a living, responsive membrane that learns and adapts faster than any incoming threat can process." Back on Earth, universities and research centers that had been working on seemingly unrelated projects now found their work converging. A materials scientist in Tokyo discovered her nanocomposite research could revolutionize spacecraft hull design. A quantum computing team in Sao Paulo realized their work could provide unprecedented computational advantages in space warfare. The global response was unlike anything in human history. It wasn't just a military mobilization. It was a species-wide awakening. In a secure facility in Nevada, a team of linguists and communication specialists worked on something equally crucial. Led by Dr. Jacob Williams, they were developing communication systems designed to be completely incomprehensible to the Stellar Dominion's computational analysis. "Language is our secret weapon," Jacob explained to his team. "We're not just creating a communication method. We're developing a living, adaptive linguistic system that will be impossible for their predictive models to understand." Michael Reynolds continued his work on the quantum drive, pulling up historical research that had been hidden from public view. Fragments of theoretical work from forgotten scientists, classified military research, breakthrough moments that had been suppressed. All were now being stitched together into something revolutionary. General Martinez's voice interrupted his thoughts. "How soon can we have operational prototypes?" Michael's lips curled into a slight smile. "Prototypes? We're beyond prototypes. We're ready for production." The quantum drive schematic pulsed with an almost living energy. What appeared to be a simple mechanical system was actually a complex negotiation with the fundamental laws of physics. Each component was designed to be modular, adaptable, capable of self-repair and instantaneous reconfiguration. Outside the facility, The world continued to change. Manufacturing lines retooled. Research centers unified. Military installations that had been in standby mode now buzzed with unprecedented activity. This wasn't just preparation for war. This was humanity's declaration of cosmic potential. Emily Rodriguez's SHIELD research team made a breakthrough that same afternoon. Their adaptive membrane could now predict potential attack vectors with near-impossible accuracy. What the Stellar Dominion considered advanced technology was about to become obsolete. "They think they know us," Michael said, reviewing the final quantum drive specifications. "They have no idea what we're capable of." The holographic display flickered, showing a countdown. 72 hours since the Stellar Dominion's ultimatum. 72 hours to show the universe what humanity could do when pushed to its limits. In research facilities, military installations, and hidden laboratories around the world, humanity was writing its response. Not with words, but with technology that would redefine the meaning of possibility. The silence of deep space shattered like brittle glass. Captain Jack Harrison gripped the command interface of the UES Defiance, his cybernetic eye calculating trajectories faster than any human computer. The first wave of Stellar Dominion ships emerged from quantum tunnels, massive crystalline structures that looked more like living organisms than machines. "Incoming transmission," Lieutenant Derek Chen called out, his fingers dancing across holographic interfaces. "They're still broadcasting the surrender demand." Jack's laugh was sharp, unexpected. "They haven't realized we're done listening." The Dominion battle group approached with mathematical precision. Massive ships that dwarfed human vessels moved in perfect synchronization, their movements a testament to millennia of technological advancement. Each vessel was a complex ecosystem of computational power, weapon systems that could reduce entire continents to plasma, and shield technologies that had conquered 1,000 civilizations. They were about to meet humanity. Quantum drive alignment. Commander Lisa Rodriguez reported, her voice calm despite the approaching storm. "All squadrons are synchronized." The human fleet looked almost pathetic in comparison. Smaller vessels that seemed cobbled together from experimental technologies, their designs breaking every known rule of space combat. Where the Dominion ships were elegant, symmetrical, predictable, human ships looked like they had been designed by a committee of mad artists and rebellious engineers. "They're scanning us," Derek reported. "Their computational models are processing." Jack knew what was happening. The Dominion was running simulations, predicting every possible human response. They were collecting data, analyzing potential strategies, preparing to neutralize any resistance before it could truly begin. They had no idea what was coming. The first attack came precisely as the Dominion's computational models predicted. A standard forward assault designed to test human defenses. Massive energy weapons charge, preparing to unleash destruction that had obliterated countless civilizations. The UES Defiance simply wasn't there. One moment, the human ship occupied a specific coordinate in space. The next, it had vanished. Not through traditional faster-than-light travel, but through something entirely different. Dr. Michael Reynolds' quantum drive had transformed space itself, allowing the ship to exist in multiple potential locations simultaneously. Dominion weapon systems went into computational shock. "Target acquired," Commander Rodriguez called out. Her fingers moved with surgical precision, executing a battle plan that looked more like abstract art than military strategy. The human counterattack was nothing short of impossible. Ships appeared inside Dominion formations, delivered devastating strikes, and vanished before defensive systems could respond. It wasn't just technological superiority. It was a complete reimagining of spatial warfare. "They're trying to establish communication protocols," Derek reported, a hint of amusement in his voice. "Their systems can't process our movement patterns." Jack's cybernetic eye ran continuous analysis. Each human ship was adapting in real time, learning from the Dominion's responses, modifying attack vectors faster than the alien computational systems could predict. One Dominion commander, a being of pure energy and advanced computational matrix, reportedly went into a state of existential crisis. Its advanced AI simply could not comprehend the irrational, unpredictable human combat strategy. Multiple enemy vessels neutralized, Lisa reported. Her tone suggested this was less a military report and more a casual observation. The battle wasn't just a conflict. It was a demonstration. Humanity wasn't just defending. They were rewriting the rules of cosmic warfare. Smaller human vessels darted between massive Dominion ships like quantum-powered mosquitoes. Each strike was precise, each movement calculated yet seemingly random. Traditional military doctrine suggested such tactics were suicide. The human fleet was proving them wrong with every passing second. Quantum drag stress at 68%, Derek called out, maintaining optimal performance. Jack watched the battle unfold, his cybernetic eye capturing details no organic system could process. The Dominion's perfectly calculated formations were breaking down. Their computational models, developed over millennia of galactic conquest, were failing against an enemy that refused to follow any recognizable pattern. "They're trying to adapt," Lisa said, a note of respect in her voice. "But they're decades, maybe centuries, behind our adaptive capabilities." The first encounter was becoming a lesson, not just in military strategy, but in the fundamental nature of evolution, adaptability, and potential. Humanity wasn't just fighting. They were demonstrating something far more profound. That true strength isn't about perfection. It's about the ability to change, to adapt, to transform in ways no one could predict. As the battle continued, one thing became crystal clear. The Stellar Dominion had made a catastrophic mistake. They had underestimated humanity. The research facility beneath the Rocky Mountains looked more like organized chaos than a scientific laboratory. Dr. Rachel Goldstein stood at the center of a whirlwind of activity, captured Dominion technology spread across massive holographic workstations. "This isn't just reverse engineering," she told her team, fingers tracing the intricate molecular structure of an alien shield generator. "We're completely reimagining technological development." Scattered across the facility, teams worked with surgical precision. Quantum physicists, materials engineers, computer scientists, and military strategists formed an unprecedented collaboration. Each piece of captured Dominion technology was more than a weapon or a system. It was a puzzle waiting to be completely dismantled and rebuilt. Dr. James Walker, a materials engineer with a reputation for radical thinking, held up a section of alien hull plating. "Look at this molecular structure," he called out. "Their technology is beautiful, but it's fundamentally rigid. No capacity for adaptive response." Rachel moved to his workstation, her augmented reality interface highlighting microscopic details invisible to the naked eye. "They've optimized for perfection," she murmured. "We optimize for adaptation." The fundamental difference couldn't be more clear. Dominion technology represented millennia of incremental improvements. Human technology was a constant revolution, a perpetual state of reimagining possibilities. In a secure communications hub, Derek Chen coordinated with research teams across the globe. The captured Dominion systems were being analyzed simultaneously by multiple teams, each approaching the technology from a different perspective. A breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, a neurobiologist working on adaptive neural networks, saw something the traditional engineers missed. "It's not just about the physical technology," she explained during an emergency conference call. "Their entire technological approach is fundamentally different from organic, adaptive systems." The alien technology was discovered to have critical vulnerabilities. Computational systems that seemed impenetrable had subtle weaknesses built into their very design. Millennia of technological stagnation had created blind spots that humans exploited with breathtaking speed. "We're not just copying their technology," Rachel told a group of military advisors. "We're completely rewriting the fundamental approach to technological design." Captured communication systems were the first to be transformed. Where Dominion networks relied on predictable quantum encryption, human engineers developed a communication method that was inherently chaotic, adaptive, and nearly impossible to intercept or decode. Dr. Michael Reynolds joined the team, bringing his quantum drive research into the technological revolution. Their faster-than-light technologies are impressive, he said, manipulating holographic representations of alien propulsion systems. But they're fundamentally limited by their own computational models. The facility buzzed with an energy that was part scientific discovery, part preparation for war. James Walker's team made a critical breakthrough with the alien hull plating. By introducing a bio-inspired adaptive molecular structure, they created a material that could self-repair, change properties in response to external stimuli, and provide protection orders of magnitude beyond the original design. They thought their technology was perfect, James said, a gleam of excitement in his eyes. We're showing them what true technological evolution looks like. Communication networks across global research facilities began sharing discoveries in real time. What would have taken the Dominion decades was being accomplished in weeks, sometimes days. Derek Chen discovered something even more profound in the communication systems. The Dominion's computational models had fundamental limitations in processing truly unpredictable information. Human communication, with its nuance, metaphor, and inherent complexity, was becoming a weapon in itself. Their entire technological approach is based on predictability, Alina Rodriguez explained during a briefing. We're fundamentally unpredictable. That's our greatest strength. Rachel Goldstein stood before a massive holographic display, watching as captured Dominion technologies were transformed. Each system was being reimagined, rebuilt, improved upon in ways the original creators could never have anticipated. This isn't just about winning a war, she told her team. This is about showing the universe what human potential really looks like. The technological revolution was about more than military advantage. It was a fundamental challenge to the Dominion's understanding of technological development. Every captured system, every piece of alien technology became a testament to human creativity, adaptability, and relentless innovation. As the day progressed, the research facility continued its work. Alien technologies were being transformed, improved, reimagined. The Stellar Dominion had no idea what was coming. Humanity was just getting started. The Communication Warfare Center looked nothing like a traditional military installation. Holographic displays danced with complex linguistic patterns, while teams of linguists, psychologists, and communication specialists worked in perfect synchronization. Dr. Jacob Williams stood at the center of controlled chaos, his hands moving across interfaces that seemed to breathe with living information. We're not just communicating, he explained to his team. We're creating a language of deliberate misunderstanding. The Stellar Dominion had spent millennia developing computational systems designed to analyze and predict communication patterns. They had conquered countless civilizations by understanding their fundamental communication structures. Humanity was about to show them how completely they had miscalculated. First layer of disinformation initialized. Lieutenant Sarah Martinez reported, her fingers dancing across a quantum communication interface. The plan was brilliantly complex. Human communication teams were creating multiple layers of information, some true, some false, some so ambiguous that they defied traditional computational analysis. Each transmission was a carefully crafted puzzle, designed to make the Dominion's predictive systems spiral into confusion. In one instance, a series of communications suggested multiple potential human fleet locations, each transmission containing subtle clues that seemed logical but were fundamentally impossible. Dominion computational systems would waste enormous resources trying to reconcile the contradictory information. Dr. Emily Rodriguez, a specialist in cognitive warfare, explained the strategy to a group of military advisors. Their entire technological approach relies on predictive modeling. She said, holographic displays showing complex computational matrices. We're introducing variables they cannot process. The psychological warfare went beyond simple misinformation. Human teams were creating communication patterns that mimicked known alien protocols, then subtly subverting them in ways that would drive computational systems to logical breakdowns. "Look at this transmission sequence," Jacob said, highlighting a complex communication pattern. To their systems, it appears to be a standard military communication, but embedded within are linguistic traps designed to cause computational spirals. Lieutenant Derek Chen developed communication viruses that were more like living information organisms. These digital entities would infiltrate Dominion communication networks, not to destroy, but to introduce fundamental uncertainties that would paralyze their decision-making processes. One Dominion communication analyst, a beam of pure computational energy, was reportedly driven to a state of existential crisis. Its advanced systems simply could not reconcile the human communication strategies. The psychological warfare wasn't just about military advantage. It was a fundamental challenge to the Dominion's understanding of intelligence, communication, and potential. Military installations around Earth worked in perfect, synchronized chaos. Each communication was a carefully crafted piece of a massive, complex puzzle. Traditional military doctrine suggested clear, direct communication. Humanity was doing something entirely different. "We're teaching them that information itself can be a weapon," Sarah Martinez explained during a briefing. "Not through destruction, but through fundamental uncertainty." Captured Dominion communication technologies were being systematically rewritten. Where alien systems relied on predictable quantum encryption, human engineers developed communication methods that were inherently chaotic, adaptive, and nearly impossible to fully decode. Dr. Jacob Williams discovered something even more profound. The Dominion's computational models had fundamental limitations in processing truly unpredictable information. Human communication, with its nuance, metaphor, and inherent complexity, was becoming a weapon in itself. Their entire approach is based on predictability, Emily Rodriguez argued during a strategy session. "We're fundamentally unpredictable. That's our greatest strength." The Communication Warfare Center continued its work. Each transmission, each communication sequence was a carefully crafted piece of psychological strategy. The goal wasn't just to confuse, it was to fundamentally challenge the Dominion's understanding of communication itself. Lieutenant Chen developed communication sequences that would appear completely logical to computational systems, but which contained subtle inconsistencies that would cause progressive computational breakdown. Each transmission was a precision-crafted weapon designed to exploit the Dominion's technological limitations. As the psychological warfare continued, something remarkable began to happen. The Dominion's communication networks started to show signs of strain. Computational systems that had conquered countless civilizations were being pushed to their fundamental limits. "We're not just fighting," Jacob Williams said, watching the complex communication patterns dance across holographic displays. "We're redefining the very nature of communication." The Stellar Dominion had no idea what was coming. Humanity was just getting started. The Battle of Jupiter would become legendary, a moment that would be studied in military academies across the galaxy for generations to come. Captain Jack Harrison stood on the bridge of the UES Defiance, his cybernetic eye processing information at speeds that would make traditional computers seem obsolete. The Stellar Dominion's massive battle group filled the view screen, a collection of ships that represented the pinnacle of millennia of technological advancement. They were about to meet their match. Quantum drag alignment at 98%, Commander Lisa Rodriguez reported, her voice calm despite the approaching storm. All squadrons synchronized. The human fleet looked impossibly small, where the Dominion ships were massive symmetrical behemoths that could obliterate entire planetary systems. Human vessels appeared almost haphazard. Their designs broke every known rule of space combat. Ships that seemed to be held together by creativity and sheer determination. Dr. Michael Reynolds' quantum drive technology was about to change everything. The first wave of Dominion ships moved with mathematical precision. Weapon systems charge, preparing to unleash destruction that had conquered 1,000 civilizations. Their computational models predicted total victory with 98% certainty. They had no idea what was coming. The human counterattack defied every known law of spatial warfare. Ships didn't just move, They existed in multiple potential locations simultaneously. Quantum drives allowed vessels to negotiate with space itself, appearing inside enemy formations before defensive systems could even register their presence. Multiple enemy vessels neutralize, Lisa reported, her tone suggesting this was less a military report and more a casual observation. One Dominion fleet commander, a being of pure computational energy, reportedly went into a state of existential crisis. Its advanced artificial intelligence simply could not process the irrational, unpredictable human combat strategy. Derek Chen's communication warfare team had prepared the battlefield long before the first shot was fired. Dominion communication networks were already compromised, their computational systems struggling to maintain coherence. "They're trying to adapt," Jack observed, watching the battle unfold. "But they're decades, maybe centuries, behind our adaptive capabilities." The quantum drive technology developed by Dr. Reynolds was more than just a propulsion system. It was a fundamental reimagining of spatial movement. Ships could now exist in multiple locations, strike with impossible precision, and vanish before traditional defensive systems could even register their presence. Smaller human vessels darted between massive Dominion ships like quantum-powered mosquitoes. Each strike was precise, each movement calculated yet seemingly random. Traditional military doctrine suggested such tactics were suicide. The human fleet was proving them wrong with every passing second. Dr. Rachel Goldstein's adaptive shield technologies came into play. Where Dominion weapons expected rigid resistance, human defensive systems learned and adapted in real time. Each incoming attack was analyzed, understood, and countered before it could even fully materialize. "Quantum drive stress at 72%, Derek called out, maintaining optimal performance. The battle wasn't just a conflict. It was a demonstration of human potential. Captured Dominion technologies were being used against their creators in ways the alien Confederation could never have anticipated. Shield generators, weapon systems, communication networks, everything was being transformed, improved, reimagined. Jack's cybernetic eye captured details no organic system could process. The Dominion's perfectly calculated formations were breaking down. Their computational models, developed over millennia of galactic conquest, were failing against an enemy that refused to follow any recognizable pattern. "They're fragmenting," Lisa said, a note of respect in her voice. "Their entire strategic approach is collapsing." The Battle of Jupiter became more than a military engagement. It was a fundamental challenge to the Dominion's understanding of warfare, technology, and potential. Smaller human vessels continued their impossible dance. Ships appeared inside enemy formations, delivered devastating strikes, and vanished before defensive systems could respond. It was less a battle and more a surgical dismantling of the most advanced military force in the known galaxy. As the conflict continued, one thing became crystal clear. The Stellar Dominion had made a catastrophic mistake. They had underestimated humanity. The turning point wasn't just about military victory. It was about demonstrating a fundamental truth about human potential. Where other civilizations saw limitations, humans saw opportunities. Where others sought perfection, humans embraced adaptation. The battle concluded not with a traditional victory, but with a complete deconstruction of the Dominion's technological and strategic approach. Humanity wasn't just fighting. They were rewriting the rules of cosmic warfare. And they were just getting started. The human counter-invasion began not with a roar, but with a whisper of quantum probability. Captain Jack Harrison stood on the bridge of the UES Defiance, his cybernetic eye scanning star charts of Dominion territory. What had once been an impossible mission was now a precision-guided strategy of systematic deconstruction. First wave of infiltration teams in position, Commander Lisa Rodriguez reported, her voice steady despite the magnitude of their mission. Captured faster-than-light technologies and Dr. Michael Reynolds' quantum drive systems had transformed human capabilities beyond anything the Dominion could comprehend. Each human vessel was now more than a ship. It was a living, adaptive system capable of negotiating the very fabric of space-time. The initial strikes were surgical, not massive fleet movements, but precise interventions designed to destabilize the Dominion's most critical infrastructure. Dr. Rachel Goldstein's team had spent weeks analyzing captured Dominion communication and navigation systems. They had discovered something profound. The alien confederation's supposedly impenetrable networks had fundamental vulnerabilities born from millennia of technological stagnation. "We're not just attacking," Rachel explained during the mission briefing. "We're systematically dismantling their entire technological ecosystem." Derek Chen's communication warfare teams had prepared the battlefield long before the first ship moved. Dominion communication networks were already compromised, their computational systems struggling to maintain coherence. The first target was a critical communication hub located in a star system deep within Dominion territory. What would have been an impossible mission for traditional military forces became a precise strike of quantum-enabled vessels. Ships didn't just move through space. They existed in multiple potential locations simultaneously, appearing inside critical infrastructure before defensive systems could even register their presence. "Multiple critical nodes neutralized," Lisa reported, her tone suggesting this was less a military report and more a casual observation. Jack watched the holographic displays, seeing how each strike was more than a military action. It was a fundamental challenge to the Dominion's understanding of warfare, technology, and potential. The counter-invasion wasn't about total destruction. It was about demonstration. Each targeted system was carefully selected. Communication relays, navigation networks, quantum encryption hubs. The human strikes were designed to show the Dominion the fundamental limitations of their own technological approach. Dr. Emily Rodriguez's adaptive shield technologies played a crucial role. Where Dominion defensive systems expected rigid resistance, human infiltration teams moved with a fluidity that defied traditional computational models. "They're trying to adapt," Jack observed, watching the battle unfold. "But they're decades, maybe centuries, behind our adaptive capabilities." Smaller human vessels moved through Dominion territory like quantum-powered ghosts. Each movement was a precise calculation, each strike a carefully crafted message. Traditional military doctrine suggested such deep infiltration was suicide. The human teams were proving such thinking obsolete. The psychological impact was as significant as the physical destruction. Dominion leadership began to realize they weren't facing a simple resistance. They were confronting a civilization on the brink of a technological singularity. Derek Chen's communication viruses continued their work. Each transmission was a carefully crafted puzzle designed to cause computational spirals in the Dominion's advanced systems. Information itself became a weapon more devastating than any physical strike. Quantum drive performance maintaining optimal levels, a navigation officer reported. The counter-invasion continued its systematic deconstruction. Critical infrastructure fell one by one. Each target was not just destroyed but reimagined, with human teams leaving behind technological breadcrumbs that would challenge the Dominion's fundamental understanding of their own systems. Dr. Michael Reynolds watched the mission progress, understanding that this was more than a military engagement. It was a fundamental challenge to the Dominion's technological paradigm. One Dominion strategic analysis system reportedly went into a state of complete computational breakdown. Its advanced artificial intelligence simply could not reconcile the human approach to warfare and technological intervention. As the counter-invasion continued, something remarkable became clear. This wasn't just about military victory. It was about demonstrating a fundamental truth about human potential. Where other civilizations saw limitations, humans saw opportunities. Where others sought perfection, humans embraced adaptation. Where the Dominion saw a potential conquest, humanity saw a challenge to be transformed. The strikes continued, each one a precisely calculated message. We are not here to be conquered. We are here to redefine possibility. Humanity was just getting started. The diplomatic chamber aboard the neutral space station felt heavy with unspoken history. Representatives from the stellar Dominion sat on one side, their computational matrices struggling to process the magnitude of their defeat. Human delegates, led by Captain Jack Harrison, and Dr. Rachel Goldstein, approached with a presence that defied traditional diplomatic protocols. This wasn't a surrender. This was a fundamental restructuring of galactic civilization. "You misunderstood us," Jack said, his cybernetic eye scanning the alien representatives. "We are not a civilization to be conquered. We are a civilization of constant evolution." The Dominion's lead representative, a being of pure energy and advanced computational matrix, struggled to form a coherent response. Their entire understanding of technological and social development had been systematically dismantled by humanity's unprecedented approach to warfare, communication, and innovation. Dr. Rachel Goldstein stepped forward, holographic displays dancing around her. Each projection told a story of human technological development, not as a linear progression, but as a chaotic, adaptive ecosystem of innovation. "Your fundamental mistake," she explained, "was believing that technological advancement follows a predictable path. The diplomatic restructuring was unlike anything in galactic history. Humanity wasn't seeking revenge or total dominance. They were proposing a complete reimagining of intergalactic cooperation." Dr. Michael Reynolds presented a series of technological exchange proposals that would have been unthinkable weeks earlier. Quantum communication systems, adaptive shield technologies, drive systems that negotiated the fundamental nature of spacetime. Humanity was offering not just technology, but an entirely new approach to technological development. Derek Chen's communication teams had prepared for this moment. Every transmission, every diplomatic communication, was a carefully crafted puzzle designed to challenge the Dominion's fundamental understanding of negotiation and cooperation. "We're not asking for submission," Derek explained during a strategy session. "We're offering a partnership that will fundamentally transform galactic civilization." The human approach was brilliantly complex. Where the Dominion expected rigid hierarchies, humanity proposed adaptive networks. Where alien civilizations saw technology as a fixed point of development, humans presented it as a living, breathing ecosystem of constant innovation. One by one, other civilizations within the Dominion's sphere of influence began to take notice. The humans hadn't just defeated a supposedly invincible force, they had demonstrated a fundamentally different approach to existence. Commander Lisa Rodriguez presented a comprehensive plan for galactic collaboration that was part diplomatic strategy, part technological revolution. Research centers would be established that brought together diverse civilizations, not as conquerors and conquered, but as potential collaborators. The Dominion's computational systems struggled to process the proposal. It defied every known model of intergalactic relations. "Your technological approach is fundamentally limited," Jack explained during a critical negotiation session. "You see technology as a destination. We see it as a journey." Dr. Emily Rodriguez's adaptive communication systems played a crucial role. Translation was no longer about converting words, but about creating mutual understanding. Each communication became a bridge between fundamentally different ways of perceiving reality. The negotiations continued for weeks. What had begun as a potential extinction event for humanity transformed into a moment of galactic reimagining. Captured Dominion technologies were not just studied, they were completely reimagined. Shield generators, communication networks, propulsion systems, everything was transformed through the lens of human innovation. "We're not taking your technology," Michael Reynolds told the Dominion representatives. "We're offering a new way of understanding technological development." The final agreement was unprecedented. Humanity would not be subjugated. They would not be controlled. Instead, they would become a fundamental catalyst for galactic development. Research centers would be established that brought together civilizations from across the galaxy. Each would contribute, each would learn, each would grow. Captain Jack Harrison's final statement to the Dominion leadership became legendary. "We are not here to be conquered. We are not here to conquer. We are here to explore, to grow, to transform." The conflict concluded not with humanity's subjugation, but with its elevation to a pivotal role in galactic civilization. As the diplomatic session concluded, something profound became clear. The Stellar Dominion had encountered something they had never truly understood. the limitless potential of a civilization that sees every challenge as an opportunity. The power of a species that transforms limitations into innovation. The unstoppable force of human potential. Humanity wasn't just surviving. They were rewriting the rules of existence. And they were just getting started.